It's not fast money that's gonna get you rich. It's consistency that's gonna get you rich.
Look, 1, me, 3 bitches. Too much smoke up in the room, fucking up my vision. Think about taking something out, made them niggas wiggin'. Teach them how to tie their shoes, heard them niggas trippin'.
Hey, peace, gang.
What up, there, bro?
What's going on?
Chilling, man. Let's teach these people something today.
We gotta teach them how to get out of poverty, how to keep the bag, how to get the bag, you know?
Real talk. Hey, if you had to tell them, what would be the first step? Like, would it be getting your mind right, or would it be just getting to it?
I say both, right? And so I think mind right is most important, because if you get to the bag and you got the bag, if your mind ain't right, you ain't gonna keep it, right?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And so you gotta have your mind right. You gotta be in a space where you gotta understand how to get the bag, right? But it's definitely more important to make sure you're in the right mental mindset. I always say this, right? If you give somebody with the right mental mind space money, even if they lose it, they're gonna bounce back. You know why? Because they mind right.
Yeah, exactly.
You give somebody with the wrong mindset money, you know, they're gonna lose it and they can't bounce back, because they ain't got that mind right. First and foremost, you got to have your mind right, for sure. So the next step is making sure you got multiple streams of income, right? And so a lot of times people are only relying on one stream of income. And so whether it's your 9 to 5, however you get it, people are always focusing on one source of income. So you got to get to a space where you diversify your income. Like, yo, how do I diversify my income? How do I, you know, get multiple streams so that if one stream dry up, you always could fall back on something else? Think about the pandemic. Right? As soon as the pandemic happened, a lot of people who are used to getting money one way, they ain't know what to do. But if you have multiple streams of income, you ain't worried about a pandemic, because you got other ways to get to the bag.
Yeah, that's real though. I be trying to tell people you can make money a lot of different ways. Like,
so many ways.
Ways to make money. What's some type of ways to make money you think people don't know?
Man, so yeah, I mean, the fact that we got access to everybody through social media, you know what I'm saying? Like, people need to monetize their brand, right? And so, number one, you can make money through knowledge, right? So whatever you know, you don't even gotta have 100,000 followers. Like, if you know something, you can package that up. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And people want what you got. You know what I'm saying? So your knowledge you can pack up. I've written 8 books. You know what I'm saying? Books work. Yo, t-shirt line, like, yo, it's so easy to put. You know what I'm saying? You get a dope graphic designer. You know what I'm saying? If you go to Fiverr, like, Fiverr is one of those websites where you can go, you get like a dope graphic designer, put a graphic on. And then you can really, like, literally, you don't even have to, like, buy shirts. You could go online. You could connect it through Printful.com and start your own t-shirt line with no money. Just the money that you need to get the graphics. There's shout-outs, right? Like, you could get to a point where you're reviewing products. Also, you know, being a middleman, right? With Amazon.com. You could buy stuff wholesale on Amazon and then put it back on, you know what I'm saying, as a, you know, and resell it, right? And so those are other ways that you could kind of, you know, with little to no money, start to monetize.
Yeah, I'm with that for sure. For people coming up in the urban community, you know, they think it's hard to, like, start legal businesses, like, you feel me? I just want you to tell them something, you feel me? Give them some words of inspiration, you feel me? Let them know, like, it ain't that hard for people like us to do the things that we see other people doing. You feel what I'm saying?
Nah, it's a big fact. I say we are in the best position, though, you know, us from the urban environment, right? So I'm from New York. I grew up in the projects, right? And the reason why it's so easy for us, because we already know how to dip and dodge. We already know how to move, right? And so imagine taking that same skill set that we get from the bottom, that same skill set. If you take that skill set and you use it at your 9 to 5, if you use it as an entrepreneur, you can't lose. Street vending, selling t-shirts. Take one step at a time, though. It's not fast money that's going to get you rich. It's consistency that's going to get you rich. You might start off with a t-shirt, and you might have to grind it out for the first few months and take all that money, put it back in your business, grind it out. But I promise you, though, if you stay consistent, it's going to keep building and building and building. And the skills that you're learning, you're not going to just do it at a bigger level. And that's how you do it. A lot of us who come from this urban environment, because we've been down so long, we just tired. We just like, yo, I'm tired. I want to get it however I live. And so we decide to start putting ourselves in situations that sound good, that sound quick. But I mean, in any situation, the faster the money, the higher the risk. What's the point of trying to get it out the mud and then you get into a situation where you can't enjoy the fruits of your labor? So you might as well do the slow grind, because the slow grind gonna last you longer. And the fast grind, all right, cool. You might have a good 2-3 years. You might be shining. But if you go to slow grind, you have a good 10 years. You got a good 20 years, a good 30 years. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I would tell anybody who come from nothing, you in the best position because you ain't got nothing to lose.
Exactly.
But that energy, though, don't take that nothing to lose energy and direct it in the wrong way. Take that nothing to lose energy and direct it in the right way. Because I promise you, You walk into that legal trap, that legal money, you walk in that door, that same energy that you ain't got nothing to lose, you're going to outwork them. You're going to outgrind them. You're going to eat forever. Your family going to eat forever. You know what I'm saying?
How did you get started?
So I started 8 years old, man. I was packing bags at the local supermarket. Then, 125th Street, I was selling T-shirts, mixtapes, and then one day somebody said they was hiring at the bank. You know what I'm saying? So I was 19 years old, and the rest is history. That's what I'm trying to say, though, right? Is that when I got into the bank, the same hustle that I had from selling mixtapes and T-shirts on the street, I just took that same hustle, and then it got to a point where I was like, yo, you know what? I'm making more money for the people at the bank than I'm making for myself. So I was like, yo, I'm out of here. And so I started writing books. I started doing the entrepreneurship grind.
So you really can start anywhere, for real, for real.
The biggest lie was that we got to go to school. We got to work hard. We got to, like, nah. And I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with going to school. But what I am saying is, yo, you can literally start right now. You can start wherever you are. There isn't anything that you can put your mind to that you can't have. All you got to do is make a decision in your mind. You like, yo, you know what? This is what I'm going to do. And the great thing about this time now is that we have access to the internet, right? And so anything you want to do, you could research it, you could study it, and all you got to do is take the action. Be consistent, though. The reason why a lot of us fail is because we're not consistent. We'll start something, and then it don't go the way we want it to go, and then we wind up saying, you know what, I'm gonna do something else. Be consistent. Start it, but keep going. Keep going. You fail, figure out, yo, what you did wrong, how you can do it over. And just keep going and keep going. And if you have that mentality of never giving up, at anything you want is yours.
For sure, for sure. What's some of the books you wrote that they can learn from?
Yo, this one, look, I'm gonna give you this one, man. So rest in peace to Nipsey Hussle, right? And so Nip taught us everything. Nip taught us the whole game. And so, you know, when he passed away, I'm like, yo, he gave up too much game for us to not pick it up. So I got a book called Hustlenomics, right? And it's money, ownership, and business lessons inspired by Nipsey Hussle. So what I did was I took all of, you know, a lot of his raps and really just put them down into business lessons. I actually give away that book for free. If y'all go to hustlenomics.com, you could download Hustlenomics for free. I'm giving you all the game, you know, based on the words of Nip. You know, I'm a big fan of Jay-Z, and so I listen to Jay-Z's 444 album. Nothing but game. So I wrote a book called The Wake Up Call, Financial Lessons Learned from 444, and that's nothing but games. Those are the top two I would say, you know what I'm saying, that I would advise anybody to pick up.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And another thing I want to say though too, right? We talking about getting out of poverty, right? And talking about getting it back.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of times when we up, we start to celebrate too fast. You know what I'm saying? And so while we up, we start spending our money on depreciating assets. If you take your money and you put it into something that's not paying you back, you ending the cycle of money. If we want to get out of poverty, the number one thing that we need to do is make sure that we are buying an asset. So I'm not saying you can't get no car, I'm not saying that you can't floss, but make sure your hard work is not what's paying for it. So I want you to buy an asset, right? Anybody, like as you start, you like stay down, right? Stay down, grind it out. But when you start to build, and you start to make money, you start to like change your situation, I want you to start investing into income producing asset. Yo, buy a duplex, yo, buy a house where you can rent it out and now you're a landlord, right? Mm-hmm. Imagine that, right? I'll give you a prime example. Somebody come up and they got $100,000 that they could buy a car with. What if they took that $100,000 and put that down as a down payment on a 2-family house? That 2-family house, they get a tenant. That tenant is paying them, you know, $3,000 a month. So instead of buying that $100,000 car, they take that $3,000 a month and they pay for the car that way. Now you just did two things. You still got your car, so I ain't telling you don't get your car. You still got your car, but your $100,000 ain't go nowhere. You know why? Because your $100,000 is in the house, and your $100,000 is paying you $3,000 right each month, which means by the first year you made $30,000. So now you still got your $100,000 in the car. You made $30,000. Year 2, you made $60,000. Year 3, you made $90,000. By year 4, that 100 is right back to you, and you still got that 100, and you still got the car, and you still eating forever. That's how we get out of poverty, Peezy. That's how we do it.
How you do it right there? That's the game right there.
That's the game right there.
Oh, that's the game. How important do you feel credit is?
Oh man, credit is so important, right? Because the game I just gave you just now is not gonna work if you ain't got good credit. You know what I'm saying? Because if you don't have good credit, how are you going to make your money stretch, right? And so that 2-family house probably going to cost $300,000. I mean, depending on where you are. And so that $100,000 is just going to be a down payment for you, right? And it don't even got to be $100,000, right? There's things called FHA loans. And so an FHA loan is a government-sponsored loan that allows you to buy a house, right? And they only require 3.5% down. Let's say a duplex costs $100,000. Yo, you don't even got to put $100,000 down. Yo, $3,500 could get you that duplex. But if they don't got credit, then how they gonna get that? You know what I'm saying? So I think it's important that everybody focus on their credit. You know what I'm saying? There's five things.
What's the first step to fixing your credit?
Your credit is broken down into 5. 35, 30, 15, 10, 10. 35% of your score is your payment history, paying your bills on time. 30% of your score is your usage ratio, how you using your credit. 15 is how long you have credit. 10% is your credit mix, the different type of credit you have, and the last 10% is any new credit. You don't even got to remember all that. Just remember 2 things. Pay all your bills on time. Number 2, make sure that you're keeping your usage ratio down. What does that mean? So a lot of people, when they take out credit cards, they think that if the bank gave them a credit card worth $1,000, let's say, that they could spend $1,000. You got to make sure that you only spend 30% or less of your credit cards, right? So if you get $1,000 credit card, don't use $1,000. Use $300. And so I'm saying you don't gotta shoot for the $850, at least a $650, so that way you'll be in the game.
Oh shit, that's hard. I ain't gonna lie, man.
This is the best time for us to get right. There's no barriers. There's nothing stopping us, right? And like, yo, we can literally like flip the game, right? And be at a space where we setting up our kids. We break generational curses. Being somebody who understand the street life, a lot of times it's just the circumstance. It's just being in a situation where you're back against the wall. But imagine if we all eating. We teaching our kids how to create residual income. So like, I'll give you a prime example. That play I gave you about, buying a home and then flipping that. Yo, after 4 years, you made your money back. But what happens after 10 years? What happens after 20 years? Yo, your kids are straight, right? Because they still making that money, and you don't physically have to work for it. And so that's the name of the game, man. Assets over liabilities. We need to get to a space where we buying assets. We let the assets pay for the liabilities, which means we can still live life and still continue to let our money work for us.
Yeah, that's real. I ain't gonna lie. Like, I swear, that's fuck, fam. I appreciate you, big brother, for getting on here and spending this game, man.
Nah, salute, King. Salute.
Yeah, like, in the urban community, we ain't got too many people who teach us stuff like this. We gotta learn everything on our own. You feel what I'm saying? So I really appreciate you.
Let me know, bro. Whatever you need, man, because I feel like it's our duty as the OGs to get that game that's gonna set our families for life. So whenever you need me, just give me the word, man. I'm there.
I appreciate you, big bro.
Yo, salute, King.
For sure.